Hello there, it is Pete over at Sampleist, and today we are checking out the Pulse from Sonuscore. A couple of years ago, Sonuscore released their most revolutionary scoring tool, the Score. This allowed composers to craft entire compositions in various genres through holding down single chords, tweaking the melodies and rhythms as you go. The Score is great for creating composition beds, adding movement to pieces, generating inspiration, and of course, full compositions. Now, the Pulse has arrived in a similar vein, this time with the emphasis on different styles of electronic music. While modern cinematic soundtracks can be crafted with ease, other styles such as techno, trance, synthwave, dark techno, EDM, cyberpunk and trap are contained in this expansive scoring package. The Pulse downloads at 2.43 gigabytes and it runs in the free version of Contact and is NKS compatible. Pricing is currently unavailable at the time of making this video. I'd like to take the opportunity to thank Sonuscore for sending over a copy of the Pulse, and they did send this as a pre-release version, so I've had plenty of time to get to know the instrument and of course create that composition. We're going to check out the sounds and the functionality, and then of course you'll get my closing thoughts. I'd like to really emphasize that while we do get the instruments for free, we do not in any way let that cloud our thoughts, ideas or judgments. We are just working composers giving you our insights. So without further ado, let's jump into the Pulse. And here we have the Pulse from Sonuscore loaded up in the free Native Instruments Contact Player 8. Absolutely wonderful. Now, before we go any further, I need to break down the library, so when I start playing through different sections, it makes a lot more sense. We have drum kits. I believe there are 39 playable drum kits, and then we have single instruments, so these are single playable instruments. We've got bass, effects hits, leads, miscellaneous, which are more organic instruments, pads and plucks. And then we've got the Pulse, and these are separated into cinematic, ensemble, and modern genre. Lovely. Over here, let's talk about the Pulse instrument. There are 10 layers. So we can see our first 5 layers, and then we've got 6 to 10 over here. And you can change the samples, you can solo them, mute them, adjust the effects or turn the effects off. You can set the minimum, maximum volume. You can change the octave, the panning, and of course you can reverse them. So they're very, very customizable. Now down here, we have the blue keys. If I hold down a chord, the sequence will play. And then we have the red keys. The red keys are the different sections of each sequence. And if I play that same A minor and I use the mod wheel, aside from the mod wheel making the GY brighten up, it also adjusts the layers of the instruments and what they're doing, and it gets more intense the higher you go. So this is the introduction. And then if I play the A section, and then the B section, and then the C section, absolutely lovely. And it does say, as I go through the key switches, what they're called in the bottom left down here. Okay. Now, if I play a chord, let's say I'm just going to use the introduction, and I'll set the mod wheel higher up. So I'm going to play chords with my left hand and then some melodies with my right hand. And you can hear how there might be little gaps in my playing. That is because it is tempo synced to your DAW. So when you draw this into your DAW and everything is very precise, it all flows into each other. But let's just get an example. Now, if I use the sustain pedal, it's a little bit more together, but of course I'm sustaining the melody notes as well. So everything is tempo synced. Now, if we look up here, if we click on find, we have cinematic, modern genre, and ensemble, and they can filter by character. So if we start off with cinematic, and I load up cybernetic visions, it will sound like this. We can hear there's a lot of percussion going on there. We are playing the B section. First play the intro. Just gently moving that mod wheel. Let's load a different one. So we've got floating grains. You can see how quickly everything loads as well. Lovely. Let's just do one more. We'll just do patterns. Yeah, sounds brilliant. Now, let's put a filter on. So let's go aggressive. We've got T Machinery. See what that sounds like. Very cool. Let's go for Epic Cyber March. Lovely. Now you can play with those all day. If I go to modern genre and let's just try acid infusion. We go back to the original view here. Yeah, there's a lot going on there. Very, very cool stuff. Now, if I go back to the find and, like I say, we're in modern genre. Let's go low key, young and free. This is in 6/8, this one. One way out. Lovely. And of course, the mod wheel, we can hear things creeping in. Yeah, it's very cool stuff. Very, very cool. So we can play around with different types of genre, and that's the cool thing about this library. There are lots of different types of electronic music. They've gone to ensemble. These are not pulses. These are ensemble instruments. So you can see the first 5, and these are playable instruments. Let's use the mod wheel. So that's an organ blaze. Photon storm. Very cool stuff. The mod wheel, incredibly important there. This is Pulse Forge. Lovely stuff. Smooth ensemble. Yeah, it's quite bouncy. Very, very cool. So that is the Pulse. And like I say, we've got all of these different presets, and you can just go through sort of play around and customize and adjust to your needs. Now, if we go back into drum kits, let's play some drum kits. So if I load up the 808 kit, for example, now these don't have rhythms to them. However, we can love the 808 cowbell, and then cyberpunk kit. Very cool. So that's the cyberpunk. Let's do the gangster kit. So of course you program your own rhythms. I'm definitely not a finger drummer. Got some really cool low booms. Very, very cool. And again, these are straight out of the box, as it were. So no effects. Okay, very, very cool sounds. I did use the trailer kit, if I can just quickly find that. Yeah, you go, Epic Trailer Kit. I do use this on the demo. This is very cool. There's some loud hits there. Very nice. Very, very nice. So we have some drum kits, and then we've got these singles. So if I load up a bass, is a Berlin bass. Lovely. Let's load up a dirty bass. Let's go for a kick bass. Lovely. That was actually that was kick bass. Let's do sub bass. I did actually not load that, and this is a sustained bass. Yeah, always good for layering under your compositions. I'm going to play the error bass as well, last one. So different variety of basses. Then we've got some effects hits. Some really cool sounds here. Then we've got some leads. And again, the mod wheel brings these out. So that's an angry lead. Got a club anthem. Game Master, TV show I used to watch when I was a kid. Lovely. So we got some leads, and then we also have some miscellaneous. So these, like I say, are more organic instruments. I say organic, I've gone straight for electric piano. Lovely. In my composition, I actually use a different electric piano for some reason. That one sounds cool, especially higher up. Yeah. Intimate piano. Beautiful. Let's go for some intense strings. It's definitely a tremolo going on there. Got a synth choir, 89. Snap strings. Lovely. And let's do toy celesta. Beautiful. Just go back to what I said before, that I use my own or a different electric piano. Sometimes when I make the demos, I like to use just one or two instruments that are outside of the instrument we're showcasing, just so everything links together. But yeah, very, very cool. I've only actually used, in the composition when you hear it, the electric piano and some risers. That's it. Anyway, let's go to pads. These pads are absolutely gorgeous. just beautiful. Dark shimmer. So again, the mod wheel. Absolutely love it. And let's just do, actually, let's do Land of Hope. So they're very rich, very evolving. Again, use of mod wheel, highly recommended. And then we got plucks. Let's go for Tomatoes plucks. Let's go for Night Stabs. And one more, Siren Pluck. I love that cutoff. Because there's no effects on these. And they're just classic sounds ready to be shaped with your own effects. Or, of course, the onboard effects here as well. And that really does cover everything on the Pulse. Now, what I do recommend is checking out the Sonuscore walkthroughs when they come out. Obviously, this is a pre-release video. There's also all of these different ways you can adjust the arpeggiator and the notes that are playing, and there is MIDI drop as well. So this icon up here will allow you to drop in your MIDI once you played something in. Very, very cool stuff. Yeah, that is the Pulse. There's a lot going on in this instrument, I'm not going to lie. Now, the key really is, how is it to compose with? That's the main thing. And obviously, I've spent quite a few hours working through the instrument, and then I've composed a piece of music. I've gone for some kind of like modern cinematic with obviously an electronic edge. Everything you hear is from the Pulse, apart from the risers and the electric piano that I decided to use. And it's really, really good fun. So I spent myself 2 hours. It's a big instrument, and I wanted to give it plenty of time to see what it does and where it takes me and all this kind of thing. And yeah, the composing experience is absolutely fantastic. So here is the composition, and then I'm going to give you my closing thoughts. So on with the music. Here we go. It is closing thoughts time. We're talking about the Pulse from Sonuscore. For me, it's another fantastic composing tool. By that, I mean, obviously the sampling is great. The way it's put together is fantastic. The customization, the sheer breadth of electronic styles, it's all wonderful. I use Sonuscore instruments a lot, and my experience goes back to when the orchestra came out. So I bought it straight away. Completely revolutionary. I was there scratching my head thinking, how will they put this together? It sounds amazing. You can play different chords, you've got full arrangements, you've got the mod wheel, and you can change dynamics and bring in different instruments and melodies. It was wonderful. And then of course you've got the separate instruments. And I worked out for my own scoring, instruments like the orchestra were great to create compositional beds, for movement, for inspiration, for sending my compositions in directions they wouldn't normally have gone. And of course you can try things out with a full arrangement. The orchestra got bigger and bigger and bigger, and for me it's still one of the all-time most fantastic instruments you can buy. And then of course the score came along, and the score obviously focused on different genres. Again, an incredible instrument, lots of different features that the orchestra doesn't have. And now we have the Pulse. So the focus is on electronic instruments. Now I do a lot of electronic scoring. I was talking about my crime, my tension, all of this stuff for TV shows. And I'll be using the Pulse a lot. Again, you can create entire compositions just within the Pulse, or like my composition, I added an electric piano and I added some risers, and that was it. Everything else comes directly from the Pulse. It's really, really clever stuff. You've got lots of different instruments. You've got some extra instruments, which are sort of more organic. It's just brilliant. And again, having 10 different layers and the mod wheel to change the arrangement and bring in different instruments. You've got the key switches, which obviously play the different sections of the score, as it were. It's absolutely brilliant. And yeah, I mean, for me, as a compositional tool, it's amazing. And there's always going to be that argument that people will always say, but you're only holding down a chord and letting the instrument do the work. Well, it's how you use the instrument, and this is why I keep using the term compositional tool, because it's how you manipulate it, how you customize it. Are you going to add anything on top of it? Are you going to adjust the layers? Are you going to change anything? It's really, really clever. And of course, it's got MIDI drop, so you can drop everything from the patches straight into different instruments as well, and tweak them and play around with them. It's an endless inspiration machine, and of course it sounds fantastic. For me, it's a huge recommendation. If you do a lot of composing and also you need instruments that save you time, the Pulse is absolutely fantastic, and I cannot recommend the entire Sonuscore range enough, especially for that purpose. All that leaves me to say is thank you so much to Sonuscore for sending over a copy of the Pulse so we can make this video. If you like what you heard, feel free to leave a like on the video, and of course leave us a comment. What do you think about the Pulse? Is it an instrument you pick up? Is it something that interests you? How would you use it? If you've not done so already, please check out our other videos on YouTube. We've got lots and lots of videos, something for everyone. And of course, if you're not done so already, please hit that subscribe button. That is the best way you can support us. We don't have any kind of affiliate deals, no advertising links, absolutely nothing going on. We just love making these videos for the community. Until next time, have a great day and keep making that beautiful music.